Yo, what is going on, guys? Matt HQC with a brand new video, and today we are back talking about Cyberpunk 2077. So love it or hate it, this game will always be in the news until it dies out, whether that be a year from now or 3 years from now. But until CDProject RED finally gives up on it, it will continuously be a talked about subject, one of the most overhyped games of all time. Somewhat failed, somewhat didn't. It's always a really cool story to look at. Anyways, but today I wanted to really talk about what could save Cyberpunk 2077. Now, it still has a pretty decent player base, and it has the big name around it, so it has the two things you need for people to want to play your game, right? So funny enough, even a year after its release, it's still savable, which sounds really weird to say and really weird to think about. The idea of the game is so cool, the execution of it is very well, minus the game breaking bugs for the most part and the cut features. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is wall running, which would have made this game so freaking sick. Could you imagine running up a skyscraper? That would have been awesome. But I digress, that's not important. The important thing is what can save Cyberpunk 2077 from its inevitable fate of being known as the most overhyped game of all time, that it just was not going to be able to live up to that expectation. The only thing that I can think of off the top of my head that can actually save this game would probably be multiplayer. Now hear me out. Okay, don't click off the video yet. Give me 1 second. Let me explain myself. The story itself doesn't fit too well into a whole multiplayer sequence, but the gameplay style does. It kind of fits a GTA-ish experience, but they would have to put in so much time and effort to actually get that up and running. If they wanted anything close to GTA style, you would need player homes, player owned vehicles, you would need new vehicles. There'd be a lot of new features they would have to add as well. It would be a lot of work, something I don't think they will do. Now to you and me, the game's already saved. It's already doing very well. It's an awesome hardcore RPG game just like what we wanted, so we're already happy. We just want the bugs fixed, we would like it ironed out a decent amount more, and we're set. We don't need that much more, correct? Well, to the casual fan, people that don't know much about the game, maybe they've never even played the game, they just see the game as, okay, well, I saw the screenshots when it first came out, I heard everyone complaining about it, I know the game's not really good, I'm just not going to play it. So to the casual fan, it's kind of set in stone, hey, this game's not very good, why should I even touch it? I'm not going to pick it up, that's just going to be a waste of my time. Now the only thing that can fully save that is a multiplayer mode that is extremely well thought out, one that's fleshed out in mechanics, one that makes you feel like you're in a truly lived in world that's going to be hectic and chaotic, as it's just going to be played like GTA, which I kind of understand. Missions that make a whole lot of sense, which kind of fit into the story pretty well. I can see them doing it, but it's going to take a lot of work, and I wonder if they are getting it done, because I don't know if you remember them talking about doing a multiplayer mode before the game even came out, but once it was realized the game came out in such a poor state, they had to scrap the multiplayer. So I am curious to see if they still have it and they're still, you know, somewhat tinkering with it on the side. But of course the single player is getting their full attention, as it's the one that has all of the issues. It's just a mess. It's a beautiful mess, and I absolutely love the game, and I will forever love the game, but it's still a huge mess compared to what was promised and what people had expected from it. Could you actually imagine running through Night City just with a couple of friends on a Friday night, just having a good time, just killing some of the gang members, doing some missions, getting your own custom cars, taking each other back to your own apartments, just having a good time, GTA style? That would be super sick. That would be really fun. And I know this game has been compared to GTA from the start, and I hate to kind of beat a dead horse here, but it just has the style and the feel to it that would make it work out so well, and I can't help but notice that. I think it would be a huge travesty if we never get a multiplayer mode for Cyberpunk 2077. I think it could save it. If it's good enough, it'll be easily a slam dunk, it'll be a knockout, home run, whatever else you want to call it, touchdown, I don't care. It'll be amazing if it's executed correctly, that is. Now of course there are other ways that they can save it. I can think of a few. Some amazing DLC would be a great one. Think of 76, how it did with Wastelanders, where it kind of addressed all of the issues that people had with the game in one giant free DLC. That's kind of what I could see Cyberpunk doing, but it would take a lot more work, I feel like, because a lot of what 76 had was, oh, there's no NPCs, it's boring, add quests, you know, there's nothing to do. Cyberpunk is the opposite. It has a ton of NPCs, it has a lot to do, but it has so many bugs, it has some mechanics that have been taken out. There's some elements that people wanted in the game that they never got, like a third-person mode, which I fully would love to have a third-person mode in Cyberpunk. It'd be pretty amazing, but I understand what they were going for with the whole first-person, trying to make you feel more immersed kind of thing, which, yeah, fair enough, whatever, but I don't think they kind of realized what they were getting themselves into with that whole can of worms, so I'll leave that one where it is. And part of me does feel like that is what they're currently doing, almost like a Wastelanders thing with 76, as they kind of stopped putting out anything new for the game since September, and they've already announced that they won't do anything at all. At least they won't be doing anything until they reach January something, they said, early part of next year, something along those lines, when they're going to do the, I'm sorry, quote unquote, when they're going to do the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 next-gen upgrade, which apparently is supposed to solve a lot of these issues. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how the game runs, because this game is even demanding on PCs that have 2070s and above. So I'm curious to see if there's some optimization maybe behind the scenes that they've been working on, maybe some they have planned. I'm not sure. I would love to know. I would love for them to at least tell us something, but they've kind of kept us in the dark, and every roadmap we get tends to kind of hold no value, because they'll say, okay, here's the release date, and then they'll miss the release date by a month or two, and then they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, here you go. So the roadmaps don't mean anything. I've kind of just given up hope on that. I'm just kind of listening to see what their plans are and what they have going forward. Of course, I feel like this game still shouldn't even be out currently. I feel like it should have come out maybe 2023, 2024, but here it is, and now we have the mess to deal with, and it kind of sucks because this game is really cool to hop in. If you like RPGs, you'll love this game, even though it's gonna have some bugs. I think the bugs just make it funny. Of course, games, you don't want to take yourself too seriously, but you still want to be at least functioning, so there's kind of a balance in between that. Just enough for, personally to me, to make it fun, which is what this game kind of does. I love seeing little glitches from here and there, just like when I'm watching back my footage. I was just running across the street and I run into an invisible barrier and there's nothing there. I don't know, I love that kind of stuff. It just makes it funny, and I don't really care if it messes with the game in any way, because it just reminds me, hey, it's just a game. It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be goofy. Just go along with it, have a good time. Yeah guys, that is gonna do it for today's video. Let me know if you want to see the multiplayer mode that was rumored. Let me know what your thoughts are about it. Would you even play if it came out? I don't know, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.